Hello and welcome back to the second episode of the Big Hitters FPL podcast. Back here for a talk about game week 14. I'm joined again by Jake and Ludo. Hello guys, how are you?
Hello.
Hello there.
An interesting game week 13, a lot of big blanks. How was your week, Jake?
It was all right. It was all right. I got 10 points above average, which I guess is decent. I was pretty disappointed in Fernandes blanking against Sheffield United, seeing as United did score 3 goals. But yeah, I mean, De Bruyne blanked as well, but managed to get 2 bonus points, which was another big captain shout. But yeah, I think I did all right.
Yeah, Martinez did well for me as well.
Yeah.
Not a bad week.
Well.
How was yours, Ludo? Not so good.
Well, mine was shocking. So Martinez, I was very happy with. Diaz, he's out of my team because you can't be conceding against West Brom. I mean that's literally impossible.
Scored an own goal. Crazy.
Yes, as well. Yeah. So, yeah, I was disappointed with that Podence on the bench because that's 9 points wasted. And Jesus, Welbeck missed a sitter. Jesus didn't do anything, but I think it really shows that. And my captain pick wasn't great. It shows that I think I should stick with Salah and Son, for example, more reliable captain picks. So yeah.
And I think I did quite well. I'm a bit disappointed because 60 sounds really nice, doesn't it? Sounds nice, high score. But I got 59, so I know it's the highest out of the three of us. Pretty good for the average, but I'm annoyed it's not 60. Kufal actually came off the bench, which was a really nice surprise. Bruno captain, disappointing. Son and Salah both scoring in that match. Martinez doing well as well. So I think it's actually a really good week for me because I moved up the league up into 5th. And yeah, so I did a lot better than the average and moved up. So a good week for me. So firstly, for looking ahead, I want to talk about strikers because there are a few good strikers out there, but there are a few tough fixtures. So for example, Vardy and my team has got Tottenham this week. So I'm thinking about maybe transferring out Callum Wilson maybe as well. He's got Fulham, but then he's got some tough fixtures. What good strikers do you think are out there?
Well, I think obviously, which we've not mentioned yet, we need to start thinking about the blank and double game week coming up. So in terms of strikers for then, obviously, we've only got a few teams playing. But I think Kane's a shout, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Patrick Bamford, I mean, you've already got him, but he's got, as a short-term option, he's got Burnley and West Brom in game week 15 and 16. He will not be playing for game week 18, so obviously it is a short-term choice, but he averages most shots in the box per 90 minutes, which, increases the expected goals. So that's a good shout.
I think Danny Welbeck's also a shout because Ludo, you had him this week, and he said if he got a touch on that cross, then it would have been a goal. And I think Brighton have got a couple of good fixtures coming up, so I wouldn't be surprised if he scored a couple of goals.
I did see an article on the Premier League page which was crazy. I looked at it and just in shock. It was is Welbeck a differential captain for this week?
Yeah, I know. I saw that as well.
Really?
I do like the look of Leeds fixtures though. So I think Bamford will be in my team for a while. And annoyingly with Callum Wilson, I would transfer him out. Not this week, but next week. But I think I have to hold on to him because he is playing in game week 18. He's got Sheffield United at that as well. So I think I might have to bench him. But I think I'm going to hold on to him to game week 18 just because of game week 18. I was also thinking potentially another bold shout here, but Giroud
Yeah, not bad. I mean,
back in
Chelsea.
the lineup.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's very unpredictable at the moment but I think Giroud scored another goal, so probably, yeah, he will retain his place.
yeah. And Chelsea have got, decent fixtures really. West Ham, Arsenal, Aston Villa, and
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. So moving on, last week we obviously chose 2 defender differentials each. This week, moving up the pitch, we've all chosen 2 midfielders. So we'll start with Jake. Who have you chosen?
Yeah, so I've gone for Pascal Grob and Jack Harrison. I mean, these are proper differentials. I mean, I think they're both like 1.5% ownership, but I think they're both pretty decent shouts. I mean, Pascal Grob has, I think he's on penalty duty now, so he could be getting a few goals for Brighton. But, yeah, and Jack Harrison, like Noah said earlier, Leeds, their fixtures are pretty decent, and you can, as you saw this week, he's capable of scoring and assisting. So yeah, I think they're pretty good options for midfielder differentials.
So Pascal Gross on 1.2% ownership and Jack Harrison, let me just check, on 1.5. So very strong differentials there. I do like the look of both of them. Who have you picked, Ludo?
I've gone for James Maddison and Bowen. So they're both attacking threats. They've both, started pretty much every game. Scored quite a few goals as well, assisted as well. And yeah, they offer attacking threats, as I said. And they both of their teams are in really good form, so they could bag some goals in, and there's a good probability it might be them because they've been the center of their teams, helping them develop, helping them, helping them do better. So I think, and they are differentials as well. Not as much as Jake's, but Bowen is 5.2% and Maddison 5.1%. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm bringing Bowen into my team pretty soon. I think for game week 15 probably.
Yeah, but he is blanking on game week 18.
Yeah.
So that's a negative.
I am looking at Madison's fixtures here, and they're not looking too good. They've got Tottenham away, United at home, and then Palace. So I would be slightly worried about Maddison in terms of fixtures.
Yeah.
But I think he's a very good option. I've gone for Lookman and Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto is becoming a bit more discovered now. Not really a differential, but still lowish ownership. He's at 9.5%, so I still call that a differential. He looks like he is taking a very attacking role in Jimenez's absence. Scored quite a few goals as well. He's got attacking returns in 4 of his last 5, I think. Scored the winner against Chelsea. I think it's a very good option. Cheap as well, just 5.8 mil. So I think Pedro Neto is a very good option. And Lookman as well, Fulham's main man. Fulham are also picking up form, it's worth saying, because they've got really good results against Liverpool and Leicester now. And with decent fixtures, I think Lookman is in for a few more point hauls. He's only got 1.4% ownership, which is another major differential. But I like the look of Lookman, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've brought in Pedro Neto as well. Yeah, he's a good shout.
Yeah, of course, Wolves playing in that dreaded game week 18.
Yeah.
So another plus there. So moving on, I think we decided that every week a different one of us would choose a different game or a different team to sort of spotlight. So this week I've chosen Leicester versus Spurs. I think it's a really interesting one, that one. 2 informed teams, 2 teams at the top of the league.
Yeah.
And two teams with good fantasy options. You've got Jamie Vardy, Heung-min Son, Harry Kane, of course. So will you be looking for any players from that match?
Well, I mean, Harry Kane has been in brilliant form against Leicester. And Leicester haven't been too great defensively recently. I think he's got, 14 goals in his last 10 games against Leicester. I think that was a statistic. So Harry Kane is definitely a big shout for captain this week.
Yeah, I agree. I've got Son and Vardy. Bit risky having Vardy, but I think this is away, isn't it? Tottenham away, and Vardy looks really in really strong form away from home. So I'm holding on to some hope there that Vardy will score a goal or two. And I've also got Son. So I'm hoping for a goal from him as well.
Indeed.
So I guess we should talk about captaincy picks.
Yeah.
Should we not?
Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, my captain for this week will probably be Salah. But this is really risky. But I might be looking at Podence.
Oh, blimey.
Because I think he has returned. He has returned sometimes. He's playing against a Burnley side who are really struggling. Even though they somehow managed to beat Arsenal.
It doesn't take much to beat Arsenal these days.
Yeah. But I like the look of him. When he played Chelsea, he was the most energetic player on the pitch. He got 3 bonus points, and he had an eagerness which not many Wolves players had during that game until the last 10 minutes where they believed in themselves. But from the first minute to the last, he really played really well. So a very differential captain pick right there for you.
I'm just going to ask you, what made you go for Podence over Neto?
Well, I think Podence is. I think Neto's form. I mean, last season he didn't really shine, and Podence. I don't even think he played in the Premier League last year, but I'm expecting. I think he's a better quality player than Neto. This is a big shout. And even though he's gotten more points, I just think Podence is just way more... He's a bigger presence in that Wolves team than Pedro Neto. I think if Jimenez wasn't injured, then I think Pedro Neto might be on the bench. I think. I'm not sure.
Podence is also 0.4 mil cheaper, which obviously doesn't sound like a lot, but it could make all the difference,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very true, very true. I'm looking at two real options for this week. I'm looking at Salah and Bruno, the usual candidates, and I'm really torn between which one. At the moment, I do have the captaincy on Salah, but so torn. I'm thinking Bruno.
I've got the same problem. I've had a look. Obviously, Fernandes hasn't been at United long, but I've had a look at Salah against Crystal Palace, and I think in his last 4 games against them, he's had 3 goals and 2 assists, which is not bad.
Pretty good.
But obviously, we don't know.
Then again, looking at the two opponents, Crystal Palace, I think they've been pretty solid at the back. Leeds, on the other hand, conceding goals and goals, which is probably why I am thinking more Fernandes.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go. Yeah. I think I'm going to do it the Talsif way and just captain Salah.
Yeah. I was also thinking, very, very bold. I don't think I will do this, but just while we're talking about bold captaincy picks, Emi Martinez. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's a shout, but I don't think I would go for him.
I mean, if West Brom score, it's all over. And I think West Brom will be very energetic and hopeful in that game now that they've got a new manager. So I think they might start on the front foot and maybe,
Especially after a draw against City.
yeah, they'll be full of confidence, and especially with a new manager who's got lots of experience, they might manage to get the first goal. So I think it's too risky.
The thing with that draw against City though is, if you watch it, they were incredibly defensive.
Yeah.
Didn't really deserve anything because their goal was like one break.
Yeah.
And it was an own goal, so it wasn't going to trouble the keeper. So I think even if he concedes one, I don't think he'll concede that many, Martinez. I think it is a genuine shout.
Yeah.
If there's ever a time to captain a keeper, I'd say it's now, personally. But obviously, I won't.
You don't have the guts.
All right. Maybe I will. We'll see. But I'm going to play Martinez, and I'm hoping he will get a big haul. It's just because of how the way like midfielders have been going the last couple of weeks. There's been blanks everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't think I can count on Bruno to get a haul because he could easily blank.
Yeah, like I said, he blanked against Sheffield when United scored 3 goals.
It's worth saying he played really well.
Yeah.
But that's fantasy for you. So yeah, let's talk about that dreaded game week 18/19. We all had a bit of a scare, didn't we, yesterday when we were talking about it, and we realised that we'd all used our free hit.
Yeah. So shout outs to FPL, mate. But yeah, I think there is a big problem for people who do not have free hits or their first wild card. So the way I'm going to tackle this problem is that I'm going to plan my transfers ahead, and I'm going to bring in players who will play in game week 18. And then for game week 19, I will use my second wild card. I'll use my second wild card to bring in, to bring in my long-term team for the rest of the season.
I mean, that's probably what I'm going to do. But there's always the risk of another double game week coming up.
Yeah, also, in this period, there is a chance of triple captaining. And Bamford is a really good shout. Or a West Ham, somebody like, I'm not sure if Antonio will be fit, but...
Yeah, I was going to say, if he's back, he'll get among the goals.
Yeah.
So, what I will say, though, about Jake's point about the next double game week is that I think a blank game week is just so much worse than double game week. Because let's say, worst case scenario, you haven't capitalised on the double game week and you've got players there that only play one match.
Yeah.
You're still going to get a good points haul.
Yeah. I mean, Son or Kane against Sheffield United playing one game could still easily get more than someone playing in a double game week.
Yeah. Like Fulham.
I think I'll just say that if you've got your wild cards, people who are listening, just use it. We've been idiots. I think you were using it in game week 8, was it? You were using it in game week 8.
For me, it was game week 2, actually.
No, we're talking free hits or wild card.
Oh, free hits. Yeah. That was when I tried to beat Talsif and I succeeded. So
that was when Jake peer pressured us. Like, it was Jake's idea at first. I sort of liked it.
My wild card worked pretty well when I did my.
I did my wild card in game week 2 as well.
No,
game week 3.
I think I used the wild card in game week 8 and I got 94 points, which is like 34 above average, which wasn't bad.
I got 42 in my wild card week.
Well,
I remember what happened then. Jimenez scored an own goal.
Yeah.
That was great. He was in my team as well.
Yeah. Anyways.
Those were the days.
So it is a difficult period for many managers. So the best solution is, if you have got your free hit or first wild card, use it. If not, plan ahead with your transfers. and without making too big of a hit, because it's better to get, I guess 15 points than to take a 72 hit and perhaps get players who, fail to produce attacking and defensive returns. So yeah.
Am I right in saying though that by game week 18, your first wild card won't be available?
Yes.
Because I think it expires in game week 16.
Yeah, so I think you might as well do it in game week 15, planning with players who will not blank for game week 18.
If you've still got your wild card, well done for being so patient, but use it now.
Yeah, use it, or there's no need to wait. It's just a waste.
Yeah, I think free hitless, I think the best plan is a second wild card in game week 19.
Yeah, well, I'm still not so sure I'm going to wild card in game week 19 because I think I've planned out, and my team what my team's going to be for game week 18 is still probably going to be fairly strong for game week 19. But I mean, depending on, I guess, the next few weeks, I'll see. But I'm still not convinced that it's the best option to wildcard because obviously there might be another double game week coming up.
But I think the problem with that is that if you're building a team in game week 18 around all the teams that are playing in game week 18, which you will be, then it means that your whole team only plays once in game week 19.
Yeah, well, I might take a 8 or 12 point hit, but still, yeah.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
For when I will be using my wild card in game week 19, I've already planned my wild card, but I'm mostly bringing in players who are playing twice because I'm aiming to get 100 points. No joke. But may I just say that Fabianski triple captain is not a bad idea.
It's actually not a bad idea.
It's actually not a bad idea. But yeah.
I might have already wasted my triple captain though on Martinez this week.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about my triple captain.
Oh dear, let's.
No.
Go on, Jake. How was your triple captain in game week 5 or so?
I think it was 3, wasn't it? Let me check. I think it was game week 3, and it was
Son, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was Son the week he got injured and came off at half time.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Son against.
He got 1 point.
Was it Burnley?
No, Newcastle.
I think Newcastle.
Oh, yeah.
Solid 1 point haul for Jake. Lovely.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, the week before you got 24 points. The week after you got 18. This week you got 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which of these fixtures jump out at you as like really good?
Well, Leeds, West Ham.
And Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool as well. I'd shout out Chelsea perhaps as well. They could bag 3 or 4 against Fulham and then 2 perhaps at Leicester. So Timo Werner is a candidate. Whether his form is good.
I'd go Tottenham against Sheffield as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Match.
Indeed.
I think Liverpool and United are quite interesting because, of course, they're playing each other, but then they've both got easy fixtures.
Yeah.
It's probably worth a shout on them. I think I will use my triple captain 1 triple game week. I might be tempted to wait past game week 19 and wait for the second lot because United have got Burnley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also in a double game week.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably going to triple captain Salah or somebody like that because,
Or Bamford, as you were saying.
Yeah, or Bamford or Sebastian Haller. Anyways, yeah.
So I suppose we should talk now about game week 14. Let's have a look at our teams. I'll start. This is what my team's looking like. Hopefully Comms was fit. I don't think it's COVID. I think he's ill, but hopefully not COVID.
Yeah.
As I say, I've got Salah captain for now, but I think I might move it over to Fernandes.
Yeah. I think Wilson is a shout as well, if you really want a differential.
Yeah, it's
That's
not.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
And Grealish as well. I'm looking for a big haul there.
Yeah, Grealish has been quite disappointing lately.
You say that he got man of the match last night. No
Yeah.
bonus points, but
He plays well almost every game, but I mean, he's
yeah.
really lately.
So in terms of transfers I've made this week, it's just the one,
Yeah.
which is Dallas in for Jimmy Dunn. Should we have a moment of silence for Jimmy Dunn?
Yeah, I think we should.
A respectful moment. It's really tough for me.
Yeah, and for me, because I've seen him in your team for about 14 game weeks, and he hasn't really delivered, but he was always supporting your team, backing your team when they
He had
were...
a great life. Game week 2, scored a lovely goal.
Yeah.
Straight to my fantasy team.
Yeah.
Too emotional. So yeah, I have officially moved on from Jimmy Dunn.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'll be fine, guys. We can move on. Right.
Okay.
How's your team looking, Ludo?
Well, I really hope Konza will play. And Jamal Lewis, he's in the scout selection team, so I'm hoping he does deliver. We've got De Bruyne, Salah, and Fernandes. I'm expecting at least 40 points from all of them together. And, Pedence, maybe a sneaky goal or assist. Bamford perhaps should score, like, in the second minute against Manchester United. Kane against Leicester. Perhaps I might captain him, but not sure. Fabio Silva. I'm not sure why I transferred out Danny Welbeck, which was a complete waste because now Danny Welbeck, he's a good candidate for captaincy, as you said. Sheffield.
Why did you transfer him out?
And it's just that I think Brighton are really going to struggle this season. They haven't created many chances. Against Fulham, they didn't really as well. And, I think as well, Tariq Lamptey might have to depart. Well, might have to depart in many people's teams because Brighton have just not been good enough.
You watch, Welbeck will score a hat-trick this week.
Yeah, well, you're tempting me to transfer him in again, so...
Don't!
Yeah.
This is why you end up with so many hits. He transfers players out and then back in again.
Yeah, so don't convince me. Fabio Silva's really good.
I've had a bit of a mess up this week. I transferred Dallas in, of course, who's going to sit on the bench this week. I probably could have avoided doing that.
Yeah, but I think that, you were still going to bring him in next game week, so,
Fair enough.
You used your free transfer, which doesn't really make a difference.
I'm not so sure about Fabio Silva, though, because I know he's starting now, but hasn't really looked like he's going to threaten to score.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting shout, but I'm not so sure.
Was it last week or the week before he hit the post? I think
it was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Not this week, last week, yeah. And finally, Jake's team.
So I've made 3 transfers. Obviously, I've got Conser on the bench. I brought him in for... who did I bring him in for?
I assume you brought him in before he got dropped yesterday.
Illness, yeah. I brought him in for Bednarek. Hopefully he'll play. I mean, I've got Cody anyway, who I can probably trust against Burnley. Who else? I brought Bamford in for Vardy, and I've got Neto in for Ward-Prowse. So I've got, I think, 4.5 mil in the bank. But I'm saving up to
4.5 mil in the bank.
yeah.
Crikey.
Yeah, I'm going to bring in Kane, but I think I had to have Wilson against Fulham. So I'm going to bring him in next week.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. Lamptey, he's just picked up another yellow flag, which I'm kind
Has
of...
he?
Yeah,
He picks them up every week.
I know. So hopefully he'll play. I mean, he did last week and got a clean sheet. I mean, he's only just picked it up. But yeah, otherwise, pretty happy. I mean, like Noah said, I don't know who to captain out of Salah and Fernandes. But yeah, it's a tough decision. But I guess we'll see. But otherwise, yeah, I'm pretty happy.
I don't think I'd worry about Lamptey.
Yeah.
He has had like 6 flags this season. None of them have kept him out, so I think you're pretty safe there.
I think on your bench you should play Konza ahead of Scott Dan. It won't make a difference, but just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm probably gonna play Konza instead of Cody there, and if he doesn't play Cody, we'll swap in
instead of Cody.
No, I think Cody's got a better chance with a clean sheet.
I guess maybe.
I just stick with that, to be honest, and just put Konza on the bench.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Or maybe play Konza because he'll either play or he won't. If he plays, he'll probably get 6 points. If he doesn't, then Cody can come off the bench.
Yeah. Well, who would you play Konza instead of? Lamptey, Chilwell? I'll probably keep Chilwell on, or Cody.
I'm not sure about Chilwell because I think he will concede. I'm pretty sure they will concede. And then he needs to basically get an assist to make up for it. So,
I might bring in might play Konza instead of Chilwell then.
No, I think Chilwell. When I watch him play, he's just everywhere on the pitch. He plays like a left winger. I mean, I would not put him on the bench. Too expensive as well to put him on the bench.
I am going to be transferring Chilwell out next week for Serge Aurier, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that is disappointing.
Basically,
really
just to free up funds to get Kane.
Yeah.
So, sorry Chilwell, sorry Ludo, but he's going.
Yeah. I mean, I've been smart. I've been kind of kept my team fairly cheap. You know, I've had my master plan, so now I can bring in Kane next week.
Yeah. So you've kept your team cheap, but you've got Delap and Dan on the bench.
Yeah, I know.
Bit of a waste of space.
I don't need them.
Okay, if you say so. So final captain picks, because the deadline's tomorrow. Who do you think you'll end up with right at the end?
Salah.
To be honest, I might bring Son into the mix as well. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll have to have a think.
So stark. Actually, so stark.
I'd go Salah. I think look at your next opponent in your head-to-head and look at their
who
team.
is it? I should probably check that.
You've got... Wait.
I think Salah's probably the safe option.
I've got Vihan, I think.
Yeah, so I've got Aaron Patel, who...
Oh, that's an easy one.
He's going to captain Fernandes, so I will be captaining Salah.
Ooh. I've got Lucas Bing. So Lucas will captain Salah, won't he?
Yeah. So
but then there raises the question of, if you know what they're going to do you go the same just to cover your bases or go different?
Well, it depends. You can take a risk and it might happen. It depends how you're feeling, to be honest, if you're confident going into the match or not.
I am really tempted by Fernandes though, because Leeds' defence is appalling.
Well, I think both Salah and Fernandes will probably get, a decent amount of points this week. So I think if you go with either one of them, you probably get a decent result.
I think I'll go Salah.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to do it. Okay, we should probably wrap up there.
Yep.
So we'll be back next week for a jumbo episode covering game week 15 and 16. We'll have a special guest with us, of course. So a lot to look forward to over this weekend. I'll read out the fixtures for you. You've got Crystal Palace, Liverpool, Southampton, Man City, Everton, Arsenal, Newcastle, Fulham. On Sunday, we've got Brighton, Sheffield, Tottenham, Leicester, Man United, Leeds, West Brom, Villa, and on Monday, Burnley, Wolves, Chelsea, West Ham. So keep an eye on those.
Yeah.
Hopefully we all do well this week. Hopefully Ludo does a bit better.
Yeah. Indeed.
And we'll end it there. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.